So, I'm going to talk about Midjourney's new image editor. It's pretty amazing the things you can do with it. It's not just erasing and expanding the image, you can totally transform it in a variety of ways without even using the restructuring or the retexture. I apologize. You don't have to necessarily retexture something. So, I want to start out with this image here. I really liked it, but it bothered me because the car is way too small compared to the person. It doesn't look realistic. Then you also have this opening at the end of the bridge here where it doesn't, it like goes into the mountain. So I want to get rid of that and fix that up some. So one of the ways you can the image editor is by copying the URL. So you want to click these three lines here, click copy image URL, and then I took it into the image editor. Now, what I want to do is kind of walk you back through to show you what I did when I started because I kind of went pretty far with this, but just to show you, I began with this image, which was the one that you saw on the previous page, the previous screen. And this was, I highlighted this part using the erase feature here. I erased that region because I want to replace it. And I left the prompt the same. And also, one really cool thing about this is if you're not sure what to prompt, if you click on suggest prompt, Midjourney will give you the prompt that it thinks that fits this, pretty much like a describe tool. So you can use that, and then you can kind of go in and fix up the parts that don't make sense, or if there's extra things in there, or if you want to add certain things, you want to type in what you want to see. So I did that and I just kind of left it because it had a mysterious, I think I changed the car to silver instead of black. So I went ahead and did that. And I ended up getting, it changed my original car from black. Let me go back and show you this black one here. And now it changed it to these different pretty cool silver sports cars, but they're still kind of small. So I decided to maybe expand this out further. So that's when I used the resize tool up here. So move and resize. And what you can do is you take it like grab the handles like that on the top or bottom if you want to make it taller. And then you would go ahead and just submit edit. You do have to have something written, something entered into the prompt field, or it's not going to work. So I did that and I ended up with a larger canvas to work with. So now I could take this highlight further back and make a bigger vehicle. That's why I did that. So these are all different ways, and it'll give you 4 options each time you run it. So I liked one of those, not sure which one, and then I ended up going with, I changed it again. So now I went from this one here. Now I get this size. See, it's just a smaller one. I made the canvas bigger. So now I'm up here. So could make this even bigger here. Then I ran it through and I got cars parked in the opposite direction for some reason. I'm not sure why, but still interesting. Then I thought, since I have a little bit more room to work here, I'm going to change this and make it into a waterfall. I think that would look pretty cool. So with the next image, Midjourney recommends that you always go a little bit bigger than the area that you want to mask. And when you're masking this, you're not necessarily just erasing something. This is what you would use to put something, replace something, or to add something in. So it's hard to notice that at first, but you do have that erase kind of works in a bunch of different ways. So instead of just changing the whole, it's not going to change anything else except for the area that you highlight. But if you give it a little bit more room, it helps. So I went pretty far up, and this is what I got I changed in the prompt the bridges and ruins on the right side of the image with a huge waterfall cascading into a roaring river below. The man doesn't know how to get across the waterfall. And so I changed it. So now I got these options here. Pretty interesting. So I use one of those here. I think probably this one. And then I kind of wanted it to make it a little bit better because I just wasn't really satisfied with those particular waterfalls. And then it was still not great, but I wanted to kind of change a few more things. So I went with, I believe, this one. because it does like it's coming through a canyon maybe there and falling into the water there. Looks pretty good. Then I decided, let me bring in an image reference. And this is when I brought in another image that I have of a samurai. I just happened to have it in my Finder window, and it's a samurai in like a kind of a misty, mysterious, magical type of setting. And what you do here is you could just bring this in, and I highlighted this time the sky. I wanted to change the sky, and you want to go very close to the objects. You can change your brush size over here, and you can also, if you want to make it bigger or smaller, your image, and then expand it out, you could also just change the scale instead of, pulling on the handles. So that's one thing I did. So I highlighted this whole sky because I wanted that to turn into like a mist, like this kind of mysterious, magical looking mist. And I added that in. I think I didn't change the color. I left everything the same because it already said a misty atmosphere. So my results were at first this here. Let me see, go back. Yeah, I think it was this here. So this one, it's looking pretty interesting, right? So you see he's looking very, you close that, you go back. He's looking, it's like I wasn't loving all of his extra stuff with his outfit there, and then like the stuff just sitting out in the middle. So this was kind of cool though. I think I chose this one, and I didn't highlight anything. I just changed the prompt, and I ended up with these. I changed the prompt and I added something about him being a futuristic Ronin samurai standing on the edge of a bridge. And that's pretty much how I left it, because I think because of the style, like I went with the Asian style, pagoda type of thing going on there. And I thought maybe it might just kind of infer that that was supposed to be an ancient he's an ancient canyon on the way to a majestic kingdom. So I just wanted to add that in there, and these are the results I got. So pretty cool. So you do all this, and I did not use the retexture tool, which is over here. And when you use that, you would have to change it. They say that for good results, avoid using prompts that are incompatible with the general structure of the image. You don't even have to change the pattern. You don't have to add anything else to the prompt. You can just hit retexture, and it'll kind of do some subtle changes, not much. But if you want to say you want it to be futuristic or different colors or textures, materials, it'll kind of just change the composition, but it will change the entire image instead of just the area you mask. So that makes sense there. And you also, if you want to change your aspect ratio, when I was scaling it down to make it bigger, like I can do this now, and you want to make sure you select one of those, or it's just going to make it whatever size you have there. Submit edit, it's pretty fast. And it'll just kind of make it a little bit broader for the whole canvas, giving you a better picture altogether. It's just a pretty fun way where you can kind of sit here and just do all kinds of different things with this image editor. And there's working, especially when you have the Midjourney images right there. It's just pretty amazing the things you can do. So now I keep adding more. I could take this out if you want to extend the scene and see as it's getting bigger, you see more of the river down here. You don't see it there. This is looking like a wild red river there. I don't think I would go with that. This one's pretty cool. Sure. And then you could take it out even further. So I could take it and drag the corners, but I still want to keep it. So say I wanted to make a video. I want to just make sure I maintain that aspect ratio. And I'm just going to keep hitting submit and not changing anything. If you wanted to add like a road or a boat down there or another person, you could do that. And I believe if you just mask the area that you want the person to be in on that, or if you want to change that particular character, you could do that too and add more to the scene. So you can kind of just keep stretching this scene out. And you can also, it doesn't have to stay in the center. I notice here that we get the black line even with this, but That one's a little bit too blurry. So now I'm seeing what are the limitations with Midjourney in this type of the way I did it. You see, you kind of might lose a little bit of the overall composition here with actual real things. I'm not sure why we have like so much of the mist, but it could just be because I did it kind of a messy way and I didn't specify and say, hey, add on like a valley there or something like that with grass or more of the mountains, coming up there. So it's just one way. I just want to show you a few things. When you're done, you can always take that image. Let me see. I'll take one of these and upscale it. This one here, upscale it to the gallery. And when you want to see view all, this will show you all your images all in one place. It's basically, it's kind of like your archives, your organized tab, and it can kind of just show you, like, you see, I did a lot of iterations of that. And before that, I was working on a flower, which I changed from yellow. It was a yellow flower under there. Let me hit restore and erase that. No, I don't think I can erase it, I guess. I don't know. Take this off. Oh, yeah, that's how you get that off. This is what this flower started out as, and this is what I ended up taking it to. I turned it into a red rose, and then I retextured this a little bit, and you can see it's looking a little bit different. Not a major difference, but yeah, I expanded it out a little bit because it was pretty close at first. So I expanded the canvas some. But yeah, that's how, if you want to start a new one, you go hit new there and you still have your tabs here and you can erase this. It will keep the same prompt in the last prompt you use. So you can erase that. But that's it. And over here on the side, edit. You go to edit, nod your explore, create, organize, personalize. Down here towards the bottom, edit. But have fun.